leading coefficient of 1. Okay, here we go. Everybody good to go now? Yes? Everybody's good to go? So we're going to talk about factoring trinomials with a leading coefficient of 1. And we just had a little discussion, and we said the number in front of the x squared has to be a 1 for this particular case. This is what we're spending all our time on. All right? So here's the quick and dirty way to understand this, and then we're going to really dive into it and understand it. Okay? So we have this. We have x squared plus bx plus c. The b is going to be the number in front of the x, and the c is going to be the constant on the end. So this is in standard form because the degrees are going down from top to bottom. Okay? This is equal to the product of two binomials. It's going to be x and x, and it's going to be x plus, I'm going to call this thing p, and x plus, I'm going to call this q. I'm going to tell you exactly what p and q are and the role that they play. So x squared plus bx plus c is equal to x plus p times x plus q. So this part right here, this is called a trinomial, isn't it? Okay? And a trinomial can factor to the product. Now, what does product mean again? Multiplication. So product of two, what types of polynomials are those? Binomials. Okay, so a trinomial can factor to a product of two binomials, in this case, if two things happen. If two things have to happen, 1 and 2. The first thing that has to happen is that p plus q has to equal b. That has to happen. And p times q has to equal c. That's it. That's everything right there. So I'm going to put a huge box around this for you, and I'm going to keep referring to it. Now, this is the general form. And I understand that looking at this right now is super, super weird, but we are going to take a look at it, okay? Let's just review what I just said. A trinomial that's in standard form with a leading coefficient of 1 can factor to the product of two binomials, x plus p, x plus q, only if these two things are true. When you add p and q, you get b back, and when you multiply p and q, you get c. Does that understand? Everybody cool with that part? So we're gonna, when we take p and when we take q, when we add them together, we have to get back p, or b, excuse me. And when we multiply them together, we have to get back c. You guys with me on that? That's how they're related, all right? So let me give you a little example here, and then I'm going to dive into how we're going to solve these. So take a look at this. X squared plus a 6x plus a 5. Is this a trinomial? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Is the leading coefficient a 1? Yes, it is. So we know that it can factor to the product of two binomials in the form of x, x, and we have to solve for p and q. And in this particular case, it would be plus 5 and plus 1. And we can check. I don't expect you to know how I got that just yet. But look, if I take 5 and I take 1 and I multiply them together, what would I get? I get 5. And if I take 5 and I take 1 and I add them together, what would I get? And that would give me that one. So that's how I know I did it right. You guys see me? You guys understand so far? All right, that's an example. And today we're going to show you how we did that. And the way we're going to use that is through a diamond method. Okay? And I'm going to show you that on the back of your factoring flowchart right now. So turn your factoring flowchart over. So we're going to do some examples together. We've just gone over how to do the diamond method, and we made a little chart on the back of our factoring flowchart. And we're going to use that to help us factor the following here. So let's factor x squared plus 10x plus 16. X squared plus 10x plus 16. Okay, first of all, is this a polynomial? Yes or no? Yes, it is. What type of polynomial is it? Trinomial, good. What's the leading coefficient? No. What's the leading coefficient? The leading coefficient is 1. It's the number out in front. All right? Okay, we are going to solve this by using the diamond method. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our diamond, okay? We're going to make our diamond, or our X. The number that goes in the top of the diamond is C, so we're going to put 16 here. The number that goes at the bottom of our diamond is B, so we're going to put 10 here. Okay? Now, take a look. Is the top number is 16, is that positive or negative? So this is positive, correct? The bottom number, or the part B, is that positive or negative? Okay, so take a look at your chart here. Which one has a positive in the top and the positive in the bottom? The first one. So that means that this number has to be positive and this number has to be positive. The question is, how do we get those numbers? We want two numbers that multiply to 16 and add to 10. So what we do is we take the number 16 and we start breaking it down. How can you get 16? Well, it's 1 times 16, right? Is there any other way? 2 times 8? Any other way? 4 times 4. Good. Only one of these options is going to simultaneously add to 10. Is it 16 and 1? No. Is it 2 and 8? Yes. And they're both are positive, so a 2 goes there and an 8 goes there. You guys understand what's going on so far? Okay, great. Now, it could be the other way around, yeah. In this case, because everything's positive. Now, what does that do? You know what that does? That tells you how to factor this. Remember, it's going to be factored into a product of two binomials, isn't it? And it's going to be x, and the two numbers on the side of the diamond are the answer. +2 and +8. So there is your answer. We have now factored it. Bless you. Watch. I'll prove it to you. Check. If I take x plus 2 and I multiply it by x plus 8, I'm multiplying two binomials. What should I use? FOIL. Let's see here. What's x times x? X squared. What's x times 8? 8x. Good. What's 2 times x? 2x. And what's 2 times 8? 16. If I add 8x and 2x, what do I get? X squared plus 10x plus 16. Is that what I had before? So I know I've done it correctly. Okay, we're going to factor this trinomial. It's going to be x squared minus 5x plus 6. X squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. Is this a trinomial? How do you know it's a trinomial again? Because it has 3 terms. Good. What is the leading coefficient? A 1. The number that's sitting out in front of x. This is a 1, so we're okay to go. All right, we're going to use the diamond method. We're going to make our diamond right here. What number goes in the top? What number goes in the top? 6. Yeah, C goes in the top. What number is in the bottom? -5. Okay, what type of number is 6? Positive or negative? It's positive. What type of number is -5? Positive or negative? Negative. Okay, let's take a look at our chart here. I know you can't see it on the video, but on the back of our chart we have it. Which one has a positive in the top and a negative at the bottom? This one. So that means that both of these signs have to be negative. Pretty sweet, right? Now, here we go. We want two numbers that multiply to 6 and add to -5. So let's think about our choices here. Here's the number 6. It could be 1 and 6. Right? What else can I do? 2 and 3. What else can I do? That's it, right? Okay, add up. 6 and 1. Does that add to -5? Huh? No. How about a -2 and a -3? Does that add to a -5? Yes, so -2 and a -3. You guys get it now? Okay. So that means this is going to factor to a product of two binomials. So it's going to be x minus 2 and an x minus 3. And that's our answer. This is called factored form. And this is my trinomial. So trinomial, let's do x squared plus 3x minus 10. All right, let's do x squared plus 3x minus 10. We want to factor this. Okay, same exact questions. First of all, is it a trinomial? Yes. Is the leading coefficient 1? Yes, we're going to do a diamond problem. What number goes on the top? Negative 10. What number goes on the bottom? Positive 3. Okay, up top here, it looks like I have a negative. On the bottom, it looks like I have a positive. Let's see here. Which one has a negative and a positive? The third one. Okay, so that means a positive number goes here, and a negative number goes there. But the positive one has to be bigger. Okay, good. So let's take a look here. What are my factors of 10 here, or of negative 10? I could have 1 and a 10, yeah? I could have 2 and a 5, and that's it, right? Okay, now, 1 has to be positive, 1 has to be negative. So if I make of the two numbers here, 10 and 1, which one's bigger? 10. So is 10 minus 1 3? No, it's not. Okay, take a look at 2 and 5. Which number's bigger? 5. So is 5 minus 2 3? Yes. So the 5 goes here, and the negative 2 goes there. How awesome is that? You guys getting this? Yeah. Do you see how handy this chart is over here? Super handy, right? Okay, so that means that this piece is going to have to factor 2 x plus 5 times, can't see that, times what, everybody? X minus 2. All right, again, that's our factored form. So again, this is my trinomial, and this is my factored form. Okay, can we do one more together? And then we're done for the lesson before we start practicing? Okay, sweet. Last idea here, last box. We're going to factor. We're going to factor this one here. X squared minus 5x minus 14. X squared minus 5x minus 14. Okay, same exact questions. Is this a trinomial? Yes. How come only 3 people are answering? Is this a trinomial? Yeah. Is it a leading? What's the leading coefficient? 1. Awesome. We are going to set up a diamond problem. Beautiful. What number goes on the top? No. Negative 14. What number goes on the bottom? Negative 5. Okay, let's take a look here. That's a negative number. This is also a negative number. What happens if there's 2 negatives there? A positive and a negative, right? And the negative has to be bigger. Very good. Okay, so let's take a look. What are our options for 14? 1 and 14. Okay, let's see here. Is 14, negative 14 plus 1, is that negative 5? Nope, that's not going to work. Okay. How about 2 and 7? Okay, let's see here. Is negative 7 plus 2 negative 5? Yes, that's our answer. Pause. So the bigger one has to go here. The other one goes there. It's pretty sweet, huh? So this is going to factor 2. Looks like x, and then plus 2, and then minus 7. And that is our